I was completely enthralled by this. I mean, I'd heard of lucid dreaming, but I'd never experienced it for myself. Hello my friends of the Psychedelic Renaissance, it's Tom Hatsis, your psychedelic historian, and this is Protocols for Safely Finding and Consuming the Amanita Muscaria, Part 3. In my last two videos, I had mentioned how important it is to form a relationship with this mushroom. In this video, I'd like to go over step by step how I actually formed that relationship and went from using the Amanita Muscaria first as a medicine to using it in witchcraft. My story begins, as stories like this seldom ever begin, with shitty sleep. I deal with sleep apnea, which was my original reason for working with this mushroom. While researching psychedelic magic and witchcraft throughout the centuries, I came across a reference to the Amanita Muscaria being called the sleep-causing mushroom in a treatise dating to 1609 about werewolfism. I'd also read modern reports about this mushroom's ability to cast a person into a deep and restful sleep. So of course, that immediately piqued my interest. Only when I first started foraging that mushroom, I didn't eat it right away. I not only got to know it, but I let it get to know me. I would serenade it with my guitar. I would sit with it in my lap during my morning meditation. I would read poetry to it. I would just hang out with my jar of mushrooms. But I didn't eat them. I did that for several months until I finally felt like the mushroom had gotten to know me and I had gotten to know it. Like, I knew which of my jokes it liked and which of my jokes it thought were total groaners. I knew which of my songs it preferred and which of my songs it could do without. It was finally time to consume them. Quick reminder, if you're getting value from this content, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. Alright, back into it. And so I started with just a tablespoon of the mushroom before bed. It wasn't much, but it had a remarkable effect. I had finally gotten a good night's sleep. I woke up feeling refreshed for the first time in years. I literally jumped out of bed that first morning and I was all like, oh my god, is this what people feel like in the morning? Like they actually got a restful sleep? Holy shit, this is amazing.
Good morning! Look at the sun!
That aside, my dreams were so vivid and just saturated with meaning. There was a depth to them that I hadn't experienced since childhood. I was hooked from that first time. Let me back up real quick and unpack something I said. I had mentioned that the first time I took Amanita Muscaria, I took a tablespoon of it. That's because I had pulverized them in a blender first. The reason for pulverizing the mushrooms is rather practical. Different amanitas have different amounts of ibotenic acid in them. And just a quick reminder, ibotenic acid is the chemical in the Amanita Muscaria that converts to muscimol, which is the good stuff, we want the muscimol, during the dehydration process. The thing is, the amount of ibotenic acid in any Amanita Muscaria mushroom has nothing to do with its size. You can have a large cap like this one, or a small cap like this one. This is actually the Amanita Muscaria var formosa, but whatever. Point is, you can have a big cap and a small cap, and there will actually be more ibotenic acid in the small cap than there is in the big cap. Pulverizing the caps homogenizes the dose, making it far more stable and uniform in effect. And so I took about a tablespoon of the mushroom, sometimes 2 tablespoons of the mushroom before bed for several months. I wanted to let my body acclimate to the mushroom. When I started upping the dose, I noticed that my dreams became even more vivid, and now, lucid. I was completely enthralled by this. I'd heard of lucid dreaming, but I'd never experienced it for myself. Which led me to my single favorite thing about the Amanita Muscaria. Flying dreams. I don't know about you, but I love flying dreams. Of course you love flying dreams. Everybody loves flying dreams. They're the best. But here's the thing. When I would have a flying dream, in my past, and I didn't eat the Amanita Muscaria, I would wake up and be totally bummed. I'd be like, oh shit, I didn't really fly. But flying dreams with Amanita Muscaria feel so real that when you wake up, you're like, yes, I really flew through the air. That was incredible. And I'll get to do it again the next time I have a flying dream after I've eaten the Amanita Muscaria before bed. I then got into taking much higher doses and really digging into exploring the dream realm. Now, there are many differences between the Amanita muscaria and the psilocybe mushroom, but in my opinion, the major difference between them is that they are both ruled by different celestial bodies. The psilocybe mushroom is ruled by the sun, and the Amanita muscaria is ruled by the moon. And because of that, her true power rests in dream divination. So here's a quick spell I perform to enter the deepest realms where dream divination can take place. I honor the mushroom and allow it to connect to my heart in the following way. Using either Amanita powder or tea form, I place the vessel, let's say it's this vessel right here, I place it on my heart, and just for the sake of this example, we're just going to say that I'm using tea. Anyway, I place the mug of tea close to my heart and visualize from the perspective of my heart the Amanita spirit, which I imagine as this sort of puffy, red, ethereal, sort of almost like a cloud, coming into my heart. The Amanita spirit penetrates my heart and lights it up from inside. I sit with that feeling for a moment and really just feel the mushroom coming into my heart. I then place the mug back against my heart. This time I visualize the merging from the perspective of the Amanita spirit going into my heart and lighting it up from the inside. This time I can actually visualize following the light from the core of my heart out into and through my entire body. I then sit with that feeling again for a moment, maybe a minute or two. I then place the mug back against my heart. This time I visualize it from the vantage point of a third party, watching the Amanita spirit merge with my heart from a distance. I, again, get to watch my heart light up from within. I sit with that beautiful feeling for a while and then ask the mushrooms a question that I hope they will reveal the answer to when I'm dreaming. Or rather, I should say, I don't actually dream the answer. Instead, the mushroom offers different portraits of possibilities regarding the question that I asked. Let me give you the latest example of this kind of witchcraft. I have a book coming out this June called Psychedelic Injustice, and it's actually already available for pre-order, so I'll leave a link in the description. The thing is, I had originally considered self-publishing the book. But then after debating that idea of self-publishing with some friends of mine and doing some Amanita Muscaria dream divination about that very question, like, should I self-publish or not, the mushrooms told me it would be best to find a publisher. So I decided to hold off publishing the book myself and look for a publisher interested in a book about identity politics in psychedelia and essentially how identity politics is destroying psychedelia. I couldn't be happier that I made that decision because I eventually landed a deal with Pitchstone, who publishes books from authors who I really admire, like Richard Carrier and Peter Boghossian. So I'm in really good company with this publisher, with Pitchstone, and I'm really psyched about this. These days, I take about 6 or 7 grams of Amanita Muscaria before bed every week. And if you can't tell by how animated I am right now, well, it's because I took 7 grams of Amanita last night and got a great night's sleep. My dreams, whether I'm divining or not, are unbelievably vivid, and I wake up just feeling like I'm feeling right now, which is fucking great. Thing is, if I can leave you with anything from this video series, it's that it is best to form a relationship with the Amanita Muscaria before you ever consume it. Rushing in might result in feeling nauseous or experiencing some very unpleasant effects from this mushroom, which can happen if you do not respect her and form a relationship with her first. I've only had a bad time on Amanita Muscaria once, and I mean, it was totally my fault. I had mixed it with not only alcohol, which is, I think, a very bad idea, but also a potion I concocted that contained cannabis, psilocybin, henbane, and mandrake, and was also alcohol-based. I'll link the video of that story at the end of this one. So to recap, forming the relationship with the Amanita Muscaria precludes buying shitty products like diamond shrooms from Profit Premium Blends, right? Go out and forage the mushroom yourself. And don't just forage it, clean up the forest, give thanks to the forest, give thanks to Gaia so that she will provide the mushrooms for you. Do not store your Amanita Muscaria in plastic because, as I said in my last video, would you want somebody putting a plastic bag over your head? No, me neither. These mushrooms have a spirit, and putting them in plastic is a great way to disrespect that spirit. When you do find the mushroom, don't consume it right away. Hang out with it, take it on a date, go to the movies with it, like whatever it takes. Don't eat it right away. Get to know it and let it get to know you. And finally, once you've formed that relationship with the Amanita Muscaria, remember, her true powers rest in the dream realm. Now, I have personally microdosed with Amanita Muscaria during the day, which is totally fine. But on that, I would just recommend, if you're going to do that, eat the Amanita Muscaria at least 20 minutes before you eat breakfast. I've eaten Amanita Muscaria after breakfast, and it makes me really drowsy. And if I have it before breakfast, I'm not drowsy at all. Again, it's not like psilocybin mushrooms where you can eat them after breakfast. And in fact, when I microdose with psilocybin mushrooms, I literally put them right into my morning smoothie. So it's like I'm eating them at the same time I'm having my breakfast, and I still get all the benefits from it. Amanita Muscaria doesn't work that way. If you consume it after breakfast, you're going to be very drowsy and probably need a second or third cup of coffee to get you through that day. Well, my friends, that's all I have for you this time, and I'd love to thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this very short video series on safely finding and consuming the Amanita Muscaria, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about your work with the Amanita, so please leave it in the comments below. And until we meet again, I'm Tom Hatsis, your psychedelic historian, reminding you that you free your mind by using your brain. Peace.